Um, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and read an article now. This one is gonna be this one I think should be kind of fun. Politics, 3 minutes read. I assume that means that it should take about 3 minutes, but it'll probably take a little longer because I like to give commentary. Um, okay, so everybody remembers. I'm gonna take you back real quick. The year is, I think it's October 2025. One second. Charlie. September. Okay. It's September 2025, a brisk, cool morning. And Charlie Kirk has set up a tent on a campus like he is want to do. One sec. My camera is sort of, why is my camera being weird? One second. Okay, hopefully that fixes it. I think that fixed it. Okay, sorry. Set you okay. So and you know, then a horrific tragedy happened. It may or may not have been uh you know, the Egyptians or the Mossad or Erica Kirk or whoever, whatever you think happened. I am all for your particular pet conspiracy about what happened, but something happened and he was no longer alive. And if you remember correctly, the time period that happened after that was insane. The media environment was insane. They were trying to essentially put his face on everything. They had a literal acknowledgement at, I think, like a football game or something, like I don't know where it was, like in New York, or like the Jets or something had like a acknowledgement of the heroism of Charlie Kirk or whatever. Like there was this time period, right, where we were trying to be forced to venerate this terrible person. For those unaware, I am not a fan of Charlie Kirk. I call him a Klansman in a button up. That was basically who he was. And so they were trying to force us all to venerate him. And I remember telling my friend, I was like, he texted me and he was like, man, this is going crazy. And I told him, I was like, give it some time. Give it some time. Let's wait and see what his actual legacy will be, because we can't tell. It's so soon after it. This could all fade away and he could be completely forgotten. And lo and behold, I was wrong. He was not completely forgotten. He turned into a meme. So even worse than being forgotten, he turned into a meme. But during that time period, though, before he became a meme, a bunch of people were getting fired, were getting like, I don't know. I guess this guy apparently got thrown in jail for posting Charlie Kirk memes. But now that he's a meme, everybody's having fun with it. Right wingers, left wingers, Drewski, everybody's just memeing on Charlie left and right. So now it seems like almost like hilarious to think back to like the amount of like the amount of time and effort they put into like trying to silence anybody who was memeing on Charlie Kirk. So let's go ahead and read this article. This is about a retired cop who was jailed over Charlie Kirk meme, settles unlawful incarceration lawsuit for over $800,000. Which, good for him, man. Get your bag. Like, you got to do what you got to do. I'm also not a huge fan of cops, but at least he's retired. So. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got here. A retired Tennessee law enforcement officer who was held in jail for more than a month after police arrested him over a Facebook post of a meme related to the assassination of Charlie Kirk has settled an unlawful incarceration lawsuit for $835,000. That is nice. That is a nice bag. That is two American houses. The average the average price of a house in America is $400,000. So that is, that is impressive. It's a settlement too, it sounds like, right? Yeah, it's a settlement. So he probably could have got more if he went to, if he went to trial. If they usually, settlements are less than what the actual amount they think it would be worth, or like amount they think they would lose otherwise would be. So under the deal announced Wednesday, Larry Bouchard agreed to drop the 5-month-old case alleging that his constitutional rights were violated when officials in Perry County, Tennessee held him in jail for 37 days last fall. I'm curious though about all of the other people who were fired from their jobs, right? I know that you like that's if you're working in private, like in the private sector, I don't necessarily think you have much recourse in that particular circumstance because in the private sector, people can fire you for whatever. We don't have very strong regulations about that. So it's not like your your speech outside of work can they can fire you for that in America in the private sector. In the public sector, however, I do think their free speech would have been violated in the exact same way. So I'm curious if there's any public sector employees out there who are going to see this and be like, okay, my time to shine now. I kind of hope so, because it's ridiculous. It was ridiculous at the time that you couldn't like meme on this, like, like I say, Klansman in a button up for dying or whatever in America, where we have free speech and like these public institutions were like trying to cancel people like that. It definitely, when it comes to the public sector, I don't think you're allowed to do that. But anyway, he says, I'm pleased my First Amendment rights have been vindicated, Bouchard said in a statement Wednesday. The people's freedom to participate in civil discourse is crucial to healthy democracy. It's just civil and uncivil discourse as well. I don't pretend like it's not like, like shit slinging. Like it is, you're in the mud when you're doing like these types of memes and stuff or whatever. But I mean, I think people should be allowed to shit sling and to engage in maybe not the most like politically correct discussions online without being thrown in jail or whatever. Personally, that's my personal opinion. The case, which Bouchard brought with the help of lawyers from the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, had been set to go to trial in late July before a federal jury in Memphis. He had not asked for a specific amount of money in the lawsuit. I mean, it was 37 days in jail. That is like 1 month, of his rights being violated. So 835,000. Sure. I think that, I mean, I'm all for these settlements being as big as possible because the people who are settling them have like infinite money. So it's like, well, who cares, like if this is from the police or wherever, the police, is it from, yeah, I'm curious. I'm assuming it's the police department and they have unlimited money. So I would say that that's fine. Where was I? Bouchard's lawyer said in court papers last year that the client, who is the primary breadwinner for his house, lost his post-retirement job because of his time in jail, and that episode had stifled his participation in online political conversation because he is afraid that something like his arrest and incarceration might happen to him again. That's a very valid reason for why he should get a large settlement. And well, actually, I would say that they should, if it had gone to trial, they should have been punished even harder. Whether he got the full amount, they should have punished the other people with punitive damages for doing this, because we can't have people doing this. People need to feel like they're allowed to say shit, I do think that is important. Even if what you're saying is just, like I said, mudslinging or whatever. His legal woes first started 10 days after Kirk, a longtime supporter of President Donald Trump who worked to get him reelected in 2024, was fatally shot during an outdoor event in Utah Valley University on September 10th. Bouchard shared a meme on Facebook about a vigil being held in Tennessee for Kirk. Again, insane. They were holding vigils. They were holding like... It was a wild time, man. That like 3 week period before Candace Owens like had her way with the Charlie Kirk narrative, like brutally and violently took that narrative and did what she wanted with it. Before that happened, man, it was a wild time. This seems relevant today, read the meme, which included a photo of Trump and a quote the then candidate made in 2024 following a shooting at Perry High School in Des Moines, Iowa. This seems relevant today. I don't know the meme that he posted. We have to get over it, Trump is quoted as saying in the meme regarding the high school shooting. Oh, I guess that's what it was. It was the great irony, the immense amount of irony that was Charlie Kirk getting killed by a shooting while actively facilitating as many school shootings as he possibly can, right? Like, he was trying, he's a Second Amendment guy who doesn't want any sort of, regulation or whatever. So like he it was just incredibly ironic, and that's why people were having fun with it. If it hadn't been so ironic, then people probably wouldn't have had as much fun with it. Also, if he wasn't a terrible person, people probably wouldn't have as much fun with it either. Four officers came to Bishart's home the next day, arrested him, and took him to jail for threatening mass violence at a school. Oh my God. Authorities at the time said that the post was understood locally to be a threat to an area school that has a similar name to the one where the 2024 shooting occurred, according to court records. That's insane, man. I guarantee that was a mass reporting thing, like some like shit or like libs of TikTok style account or something, like found him, put him on a list somewhere, put him on a Discord server somewhere, and then everybody, called the cops, or like coordinated called the cops on this one guy. Like that's how these things usually happen. Bouchard was held behind bars for 37 days because he was unable to pay the $2 million bond, $2 million bond for memeing about Charlie Kirk. That's crazy. $2 million. Holy shit, man. In late October, a district attorney in Tennessee moved to drop the single charge brought against him, and he was subsequently released. Oh, man, it was wild. His lawsuit charged Perry County, Nick Weems, the county sheriff, and Jason Morrow, a county investigator involved in the probe into Bouchard, with a series of constitutional infringements, including violations of his free speech rights and his Fourth Amendment rights against wrongful arrest, wrongful prosecution, and wrongful incarceration. So, okay, he charged Perry County, so the county itself, Nick Weems, the county sheriff, and Jason Morrow, a county investigator. So he charged two individuals and one, entity, the county itself. I would guess that 90% of this settlement is probably coming from the county. These people probably got off pretty lucky, if I had to guess. But I don't exactly know how that works when you have multiple plaintiffs. If it's the judge who determines the split of damages, like who pays what. This is a settlement, so I assume that's determined by the lawyers. I don't know. Under the settlement, the county, Weems, and Morrow are not admitting any wrongdoing in last year's ordeal. The county's insurer will pay the settlement. The county's insurer is paying all of it. There you go, people. And they're not admitting to any wrongdoing. Yeah, well, I didn't expect them to. As sheriff, there is no responsibility I take more seriously than protecting the children in our community, who are some of the most vulnerable among us, Weems said a joint statement released as part of the settlement. Okay. Ensuring their safety is not just a duty of this office, it is a commitment I carry with me every single day. I'm happy to have the matter resolved, and I look forward to continuing to serve and protect the people of Perry County. I think that he's using these children that he claims to be trying to protect as human shields right now. I don't think that's why. I think he's like, he is trying to be like, I had to do it because there was a chance. Because he truly, I guess, believed that this guy who posted a Charlie Kirk meme about, or not even a meme, he just said, we have to get over it. A person who posted the words, we have to get over it, about this shooting. I don't know how he believed that he was protecting children by throwing that person in jail. Like I said, I think he's using them as human shields. Okay, well, there you go, people. That is the story of retired cop Larry Bouchard, sticking it to the man, free speech warrior. Comedy is legal again, everybody. There was a brief moment after Charlie Kirk's death where comedy was no longer legal, but I'm happy to tell you that comedy is legal again. We can all make jokes about Charlie Kirk and not fear going to jail, because if we do, we get $800,000. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that situation we're currently living in.